Life has knocked you down, and you're carrying the weight of those mistakes and regrets. But listen, that's not your fate, it's just a chapter. Today, we're turning the page. Your past might feel like a minefield of what-ifs and if-onlys. We've all been there. That missed promotion, the failed relationship, the opportunities that slipped away, they haunt you, don't they? But here's the truth, they don't define you. They never did. Today, we're going to rewire your mind and turn those past failures into fuel for your future. This isn't just feel-good talk, it's about forging yourself into the person you're meant to be. Why should you care? Because right now, you're fighting with one hand tied behind your back, your past is holding you hostage, and it's time to break free. Whether you're 16 or 60, at the bottom or clawing your way to the top, this is your wake-up call. So, are you ready to break free? Ready to turn your scars into stars? The weight of the past. Your past can feel like quicksand, the more you struggle, the deeper you sink. You replay those failures repeatedly, like a broken record, with you as the needle stuck in the groove. Think about it, how often have you stopped yourself from taking a risk because of what happened before? How often do you hear that voice in your head saying, "Remember what happened last time"? It's paralyzing, isn't it? This isn't just in your head, science backs it up. Our brains are wired to remember negative experiences more vividly than positive ones. This is called negativity bias. Back in the day, it kept us alive, now, it's keeping you from living. Imagine carrying a backpack. Every regret, mistake, and missed opportunity is tossed in, day after day, year after year. How heavy is that pack now? How fast can you run with all that weight? But here's the kicker, you're not just hurting yourself, the weight affects everything, your relationships, your career, your dreams. You're not showing up as your best self because you're too busy being your past self. And let's be honest, it's comfortable in a twisted way, right? Dwelling in the past gives you an excuse, I can't succeed because of what happened. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card for not taking risks or putting yourself out there. But ask yourself this, is that backpack worth the life you're missing out on? Are those old stories worth sacrificing your future for? Here's the truth, and it might sting a little, the past is only as powerful as the meaning you give it. You're the author of your story, but right now, you're letting your past hold the pen. It's time to snatch it back. Reframing your story. Your past isn't a prison, it's a classroom. Every setback, every fumble, every faceplant, that's not failure, that's education. Think about it, you learn to walk by falling, you learn to talk by babbling nonsense, why should life be any different? Let's borrow a page from the Stoics, those ancient philosophers with a revolutionary idea, external events don't harm us, our judgment about them does. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. So how do we do this? How do we turn our past from a burden into a boost? First, stop seeing yourself as a victim. You're not a punching bag for fate, you're a warrior in training. Every hit you take is just toughening you up for the next round. Second, get curious. Instead of beating yourself up over past mistakes, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? That failed relationship may have taught you what you really need in a partner. That job loss may have shown you what you're truly passionate about. Third, practice gratitude. Yeah, I know it sounds soft, but hear me out. What if every bad thing that happened to you was actually setting you up for something better? That breakup freed you up to meet the right person. That setback at work pushed you to start that business you've been dreaming about. Here's a challenge for you. Take your biggest regret, the one that keeps you up at night, and find 3 ways it made you stronger, wiser, or more resilient. Done? Good. That's the power of reframing. You just turned poison into medicine. Remember, your past doesn't define you, it refines you. It's not about forgetting what happened, it's about changing what it means. You're not erasing your history, you're rewriting it. So, are you ready to stop being a prisoner of your past and become a student of it instead? Learning from failure. Let's get straight to it. Failure isn't your enemy, it's your greatest ally. Every time you fall, you're not falling behind, you're falling forward. Think about the last time you failed, the gut-wrenching disappointment, the shame, the self-doubt. Now imagine if you could harness that energy and turn that pain into power. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born into slavery and rose to become one of the greatest thinkers of his time, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let that sink in. Your failure doesn't define you, your response does. Here's a hard truth, success is a lousy teacher. It's seductive, it makes you think you're invincible. Failure keeps you hungry, humble, and learning. Let me ask you this, have you ever met someone who's never failed? I'll tell you what they look like, soft, untested, unprepared for life's real challenges. Now think about the people you admire, the ones who've achieved greatness. I guarantee you their path wasn't a straight line, it was a messy, chaotic scribble of attempts, failures, and comebacks. Take Thomas Edison, the man who failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about it, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of a winner. Or consider J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter, she was a broke, divorced single mother on welfare. 12 publishers rejected her first book. Now, she's one of the most successful authors in history. These aren't just feel-good stories, they're blueprints. They show us that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of success. So, here's what I want you to do: the next time you fail, and you will fail because you're human and you're trying, I want you to celebrate. That's right, celebrate because you just found a way that doesn't work. You're one step closer to finding what does. Remember, the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Every scar you have is a lesson learned, and every setback sets you up for a comeback. Seneca, another Stoic heavyweight, put it this way: difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Your failures aren't weakening you, they're forging you into something stronger, something better. So, make me a promise: the next time you fail, instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself these questions. What did this teach me? How can I use this? How did this make me stronger? Because here's the truth: you haven't failed until you quit. Everything else is just learning. So, are you ready to turn your failures into fuel? Are you ready to fall forward? The power of present focus. Your power isn't in your past, and it's not in your future, it's right here, right now. The present moment, that's your playground. Let's get real: how much time do you spend reliving past mistakes or worrying about future problems? If you're like most people, it's way too much. You're letting life slip through your fingers while stuck in your head. Marcus Aurelius dropped this truth bomb: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The past is gone, the future isn't here yet, all you've got is now. Think about this: have you ever been so focused on something, a game, a conversation, a task, that time seemed to disappear? That's what psychologists call the flow state. It's when you're fully present, fully engaged. And guess what? It's where peak performance happens. Now, I'm not saying ignore your past or don't plan for your future. I'm saying don't let them ruin your present. Your past doesn't need you, your future doesn't exist yet. But this moment needs you fully here. Here's a challenge for you: for the next 24 hours, catch yourself whenever your mind wanders to the past or future. Bring it back to now. What do you see? What do you hear? What can you do right now to move towards your goals? Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not but rejoices for those which he has." Are you fully appreciating what's in front of you, or are you too busy regretting yesterday and worrying about tomorrow? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're driving a car. The windshield is huge, but the rearview mirror is tiny. Why? Because what's ahead of you is much more important than what's behind you. In conclusion, your past does not define you, it refines you. Every mistake, setback, and regret is not a chain holding you back but a lesson propelling you forward. The weight of your past, while heavy, can be transformed into the strength needed to build a brighter future. This journey is not about ignoring your past but about learning from it, reframing its meaning, and using it as fuel to power your present and shape your future. Your future is not written by the circumstances you've endured but by the choices you make today. It's time to break free from the limitations of others' expectations, turn your failures into stepping stones, and live fully in the present moment. This is your wake-up call to seize control of your narrative, to rewrite your story with courage, resilience, and purpose. Remember, life is not a passive experience where things happen to you. It's an active, ongoing process where you shape your destiny with every decision, every action, and every breath. The challenges you face are not obstacles but opportunities to become the person you are meant to be. So, take a deep breath, embrace your power, and step boldly into the future you deserve. The best time to start is now.